Welcome into the Alabama Football Report by Chat Sports. Tom Downey here with yet another position series breakdown as we get closer and closer, finally, to the start of fall camp. Today, the final batch of offensive players. We're looking at the offensive line on today's show. Before we break that down, if you want some defensive previews, because let's be honest, the tight end one didn't do that well views-wise, we need at least 250 likes if you want that defensive position preview. That's a very doable number because a lot more than 250 of you are going to like today's video. So help me continue to talk Alabama football by liking today's video right now. Let's break down some of the losses on the offensive line. Three big names. Tyler Steen, the Eagles draft pick who played left tackle last year. Two guards, Javian Cohen and Emil Ikior. Now, there's a hybrid starter who's back for Alabama up front there, but Cohen transfers to Miami, the Hurricanes. Emil and then Kendall Randolph as well played like a weird, I don't know how to describe it, offensive line / tight end role. Kind of interesting there. He's also a Seahawks UDFA, Colts UDFA as well. Bama also lost 4 other players to the transfer portal. Damian George goes to Florida. Amari Kite goes to UCF. Tanner Bowles goes to Kentucky. And Tommy Brockermeyer to TCU. That's 8 offensive linemen. Maybe 7.5, depending on how we want to count Kendall. That's 8 offensive linemen who are gone from the Crimson Tide. So some major personnel changes this year. Now, there are several key players who are back. What I presume to be 3 starters on this list, if not 4 starters. J.C. Latham, who could be a first-round pick. He's back with 875 snaps, the team leader last year. Center Seth McLaughlin. Offensive guard Tyler Booker, some hype around him. Other offensive guards in Darrian Dalcouty and Terrence Ferguson. I would bet one of those 2 last names ends up starting opposite Booker at guard, but we'll wait and see if that actually ends up being the case when it's all said and done. So grade the Alabama offensive line for me. A, B, C, D, or F. We're going to go in-depth on all the different players, all the additions, all the players who could play a key role up front. But grade that Alabama offensive line, A, B, C, D, or F. This is going to be today's pinned comment, so if the ad comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there and grade it, A, B, C, D, or F. This is how I lay out the offensive line depth chart for the Crimson Tide. Now, we will spend some time on left tackle, I promise you, in terms of who starts, Elijah Pritchett or Kadyn Proctor. We mentioned Seth McLaughlin, Tyler Booker, J.C. Latham. Those guys should be plugged in. There's Darrian Dalcouty, Terrence Ferguson, and a bunch of other freshmen / returners who we'll get into later on in today's show. Let's begin with the guy I think is the best player. That is J.C. Latham, who I expect will be a first-round pick. Did not allow a sack last year, allowed 1 hit, 11 hurries on 800-plus snaps, 70.9 PFF run grade. He has all the traits and tools and stuff you're looking for as a potential first-round pick at offensive tackle. So plenty of NFL hype around him and a good amount of college football buzz as well. I doubt he moves over left side, but he should play on the right side. He should also be a bookend partner for Tyler Booker, who, we've spent time on him. There was some high praise from various media people that have big expectations for Booker. Held up pretty well in pass protection. In theory, for an offense that I really think wants to run the football, the Booker-JC combination should result in a ton of carries that side of the field. And running behind those 2 guys, Booker should grade out better this year from a PFF run perspective. He wasn't a full-time starter last year, but he played enough that you should feel pretty good about that, really in the entire left side of the line. And I will include Seth McLaughlin in that category. Now, he might rotate a little bit with Darrian Dalcouty, but McLaughlin got most of the run at center in the spring. Allegedly, obviously wasn't open very much for media personnel and whatnot, at least publicly. But McLaughlin experienced at center, has that background, the track record, the history. That's valuable when you want stability at the pivot point along the offensive line. So those 3 players, I feel good about. The others, we'll get to here in a second. But first, we do have a deal for you guys. Fanatics jerseys, the official Nike ones, are on sale 25% off at chatsports.com/Alabama jersey. We'll put that link in both the comment section and the description for you guys of today's show, so you can check it out, buy yours today. They've got the crimson, the white, the customized ones, and historical players, such as Bryce Young. There are some Derrick Henry jerseys as well. 25% off at chatsports.com/Alabama jersey. Again, that link's in the comment section and the description of today's show. We appreciate you guys who check that out and help support us by supporting your own football team in Alabama. Let's move to left tackle, and this is where things are getting interesting. Elijah Pritchett, by all accounts, did not have the best A-Day spring game for the Crimson Tide. Now, he was a highly touted recruit for the number 4 overall tackle back in 2022, but there has been plenty of buzz about Pritchett losing this starting battle to an even higher ranked recruit in the class of 2023. That is hyped freshman Kadyn Proctor, the number 1 offensive tackle in this last recruiting cycle. Number 9 overall, these rankings, by the way, all per the 24/7 Sports composite rankings. He was the number 1 player in the state of Iowa. They poached him from the Hawkeyes to come to the Crimson Tide. If it's not this year, it should be next year. Proctor takes over as starter, and it might not be that long before he takes over as the team's franchise left tackle, or at least long-term left tackle, as much as you can in college football versus the NFL. So will Proctor, with all the buzz around him, start week 1 on the left side, left tackle over Elijah Pritchett? You guys get your predictions in for me in the comment section. Y for yes, N for no. Go vote right now. Darrian Dalcouty next up here, who, producer Chris, you're a big man fan. Do you like him? Are you okay with him? You're fine? Okay. Seen plenty of negative comments. By the way, producer Chris, Alabama alumnus, just FYI. 0 sacks allowed, 2 hits, 4 hurries. Thought he held up pretty well in the run game. It's either, barring some weird shuffling or a shocking freshman emerging like a Rock Montgomery or they try Wilkin Formby at guard or something. It's probably Dalcouty or Terrence Ferguson. We mentioned Ferguson earlier. He did not play that much this past year for the Crimson Tide. He's kind of more of a backup offensive lineman. He has a chance to maybe earn a role on that left side of the offensive line, or at least be the first guard off the bench. Because in all likelihood, you'll probably need a backup at some point on the offensive line. McLaughlin gets hurt, maybe you put Dalcouty at center. Ferguson takes over guard. Just one hypothetical there. So keep an eye on Ferguson being your top backup along the interior of the offensive line. The goal right now is 10,000 subs here on our Alabama football YouTube channel. We are 1,669, which is nice, but still too far away from that perspective. Hit that sub button for more free Crimson Tide videos right now. Some other backups I want to mention here. Wilkin Formby, fun name, by the way. Looks like the player you would expect to be named Wilkin Formby, by the way. I mean that in a positive way. 4-star recruit, number 90 overall, the number 8 offensive tackle. He's the number 11 player in the state. Might get some run at left tackle. I think the ideal outcome is this time next year, Formby is the starter at right tackle with Kadyn Proctor on the left side. Formby takes over for the NFL departure in J.C. Latham, and then Formby and Proctor have immense success as a bookend same class year at offensive tackle. Another lineman to watch, Jaeden Roberts, big boy, listed at. Sometimes those are just either wrong or straight up lies. 6'5", 340, the number 20 interior O-lineman back in 2021. Again, he's played sparingly. A decent name to monitor, though, in terms of players to watch for depth purposes. Now, I think the answer is J.C. Latham. Others, I might say Tyler Booker. Maybe you're all in on Kadyn Proctor. Who do you think ends up being the best offensive lineman in the class or in 2023 for Alabama? Go vote for me in the comment section right now. Other notable scholarship players I did want to mention. Alini, I think I got that name correct. The freshman, number 161 in his class. He's an offensive tackle. Miles McVay could also get some run as a backup right tackle. He was 195. Then 2 interior offensive linemen. There's James Brockermeyer, who's the redshirt sophomore. His brother Tommy, of course, now jumps to TCU. If there's an injury, he could take over at center. There's an outside shot of that. And then Rock Montgomery, who has kind of tweaked his name, still a very quality one. He is a freshman as well. Prime redshirt candidate, I suspect, for him.